I'm Bev, and this is Andy. We teach body awareness, anatomy, and innovative exercises to people in the fitness and health industries so that they can get more out of what they're doing and prevent injuries. Today I'm going to talk to you about a very popular exercise, which is the lat pull down or the pull up. So when the arms are over the head and we're pulling a bar down to the chest or pulling ourselves up to a bar, this is a great exercise. It works a lot of different muscles, but it can be done incorrectly fairly often, and it's really natural for us to tell the client what we don't want them to do instead of what we do want them to do. So for example, you might tell someone not to shrug their shoulders or not to arch their back, and just like if I were to tell you not to think about elephants, what are you going to think about? Elephants. It's hard not to think about something once you've brought it up. So anatomy is a great way to avoid that common issue, and by knowing your muscle attachments and what muscles you want to cue the client with, you can get them to get more out of the exercise, to feel the muscles better, and to create more balance on each side. If they know what muscle they should be feeling, then they can generally feel if one side is stronger than the other. So let's dive in. Let me show you how this works. So Andy here is going to be my client, and if we talk about muscle for lat pull down, the most involved muscle is generally the latissimus dorsi, which is those big muscles on the side here. And so looking for the muscle attachments, we know that it attaches to the bicipital groove, which is, we're doing a 180 here. It's in the anterior medial portion of your humerus. If you want to find it on yourself, you can put your hand on your anterior shoulder and rotate in and out and find this groove between the lesser and greater tubercle. And when you find that groove, you can follow it down, and that's where your lat attaches, also your pec major and your teres major. So the lat is attaching into that groove, and then it comes around to the back side of the body and comes to the inferior portion of the scapula, ribs 3, 4, 5, or the last 3 to 4 ribs, last 3 to 4 ribs, not 3, 4, and 5, that would be up here. And then it goes into the thoracolumbar fascia, which is a band of tissue that comes into the spinous processes of your spine, of your vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae. So right in here, and we can start to visualize that muscle you've seen in photos. And then it comes down to the iliac crest, so it's actually a hip muscle as well. And this is a great muscle. It not only does it bring the arm down closer to the body in a pull-up, but it can also rotate the torso and side bend. And that's why I like using the balloons or the rubber bands, because if the balloon or rubber band is getting shorter, you know that the muscle is doing the action, and if it's getting longer, you know that it's stretching. So it's a great tool to use. I always say think like a muscle. And the muscles, all they really want to do is shorten. So if you're cueing your client, they're doing that lat pull down, bringing the arm in, we can cue them to feel that humerus attachment into the scapula, into the ribs, into the spine, and into the hip. And always ask your client if you can touch them before you do, and then ask them to feel that on both sides. And you might do this first with lat pull down because you can control the amount of weight and keep it light so they can really feel it, and then eventually use the same method in a pull-up. And my other favorite cueing technique with the lat pull down and pull up is, again, thinking about where you want the client's body to go. And so putting your fingers right at the inferior border of the scapula and asking them to push those scapula down into your fingers instead of saying, don't shrug your shoulders, because it's really hard to not shrug your shoulders when you're thinking about it. So instead we think about bringing those scapula down and in. And by you putting your fingers there, it naturally kind of makes someone want to bring their scapula down. Just like if you put your hands up here on someone and then try to push their scapula down, they kind of naturally want to push up into your hands. It's just the way the body works. If someone shoves you, you're going to shove back. So some things to think about when you're cueing. Use your anatomy when you're cueing people, use your landmarks and your knowledge of attachments, and it will create a lot more benefit with your exercises. Your clients will get to see your knowledge and your confidence around the way the body works, and it will be good for everybody. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your community so that they can also benefit from the information. And if you're looking for more great resources like this that have to do with anatomy and body awareness, come on over to my website, beverlyhosford.com, and I'll see you there.